có giận lại. Cái gì? Ngồi.
You'll notice the newborns usually quite a way back from the shore. They initially start learning to swim in the rock pools up on the rocks there, and so for the first 4 or 5 weeks, that's where they learn their swimming skills. Once they're 2 or 3 months old, they'll start venturing into the ocean, carefully guarded by their mother, and they'll learn to strengthen up and hone those swimming skills. Greatest delicacy is squid, cuttlefish and octopus. The birds here now, we've got a couple of yearlings, maybe even slightly older, just beside them. Now quite often you'll notice little wee small pups that will come out and investigate us, and they're a choppy brown colour. And they are last year's pups, and they're yearlings. Now, most of them they hover around in the bay over the back there. So we might go in there if you're all feeling well enough, and I'm feeling brave enough, to get a closer look at the activity in the bay. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story about what a year in the life of an Australian fur seal is all about out here. These rocks is actually home to around 30,000 Australian fur seals, and as such this is the largest breeding colony in Australia, and probably therefore the world. As I said, it's home to about 30,000 seals, and their year, the fun, starts in October every year with the return of the bulls. Now you say the return, well, for 10 months of the year, those bulls will be when the bulls leave around January of every year, having done their job. They retire once again to their place of ease and quiet repose on the rocky outcrops of the south coast of Australia. And there once again they begin to feed and return themselves to the condition they were in when they arrived here the previous October. Now if you look directly over to our right, just forward of midships, you'll see a little seal there on the rocks with a green necklace. That necklace, as pretty as it might look, is actually fatal for that seal. And can I just draw your attention to that and use this as an opportunity to say that if you're walking on the beach and you see plastic loops, ropes, nylon, netting and so forth, please pick it up and put it in a bin somewhere, because these little fellas are where it generally ends up. The young seal pups are very inquisitive, very curious, and very playful. And they see something like that, wow, oh, it just has to run. It's supposed to be out. Oh no, sorry, next Monday and Tuesday, the nature park will be out here searching to set them free. So yeah, there is time. So, got a photograph of that little fella taken 2 months ago, and he's actually put on a lot of weight since then. So he will be starting to feel quite uncomfortable, I should imagine. So that's one of the troubles that the little bottles come against. There are predators, of course, sharks, white pointer, marco, shark, and the occasional orca that comes in for a seal McNugget. Now we've got a nice group of seals that walked over to say hello here beside us on the right hand side. It looks like we've got a mature female in the middle there. A couple of little pups, they will be yearlings closest to the boat. Another female outside of them. Yeah, so there's about 3. Now, that one furthest out, that's rubbing its nose with its flippers. Looks rather like an otter, doesn't she, when she does that? And she's polishing those whiskers of hers. And if you have a look at the whiskers, they're swept back, they're quite coarse. Those whiskers help them to find their food, whether or not they can actually see it. So very sensitive little radar are those whiskers. It's very important to the seal that they are well polished. Oh, that's a little bit calmer once we're inside the boat. This is Black Rock directly ahead of us now, and if you're on the left hand side of the boat when we come into the bay, look up there on the
Excellent job. What are you doing to me? Scary on her. One of the other problems, when they're first born, they can't swim. They lack strength to climb back out of the water, and so some are drowned. Of course, from the potential catastrophe of the loss of this colony and banned sealing per se. However, there was a certain commercial fishing industry who lobbied government for rights to cull them from time to time to keep the numbers down, because they believed that these seals were depleting their fishing stocks. And that culling was allowed right up until the 1960s. Shocking, but then this country was still whaling in 1972. I actually saw evidence of all that in 1974 as a young naval officer visiting the town of Phillip on the south coast, and to my horror saw 7 or 8 sperm whales on the slipway. Cleansed. Anyway, within a couple of years of that, it was all manned and stocked, and also for food. very fortunate today that the wind is blowing so nicely from the southeast, because it's blowing the legendary smell away from us. Were we to be privileged enough to get a whiff of that, I can assure you it's a smell that will outlast religion. We're thinking of bottling it and selling it on the Rhine for a Deutschmark. Keep your eye out in the caves around the rocks too. You can see quite often there's cubs up in those caves or mothers suckling.